Yay Networks.
Hey guys, my name is Heather Lindsay.
And my name is Cornelius Lindsay.
And I'm so excited that you landed on Life with the Lindseys.
This is so exciting. This gives us an opportunity to share our life with yours.
Yes, we're going to be talking about everything from entrepreneurship to ministry to your purpose to why you are here, family, parenting, relationships, marriage, sex, you name it. We are talking about it.
So thank you so much for joining us today with Life with the Lindseys. Enjoy it.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
We are doing this from our bedroom, from our bed.
Oh, wow. We just sharing all the information, aren't we?
It's Life with the Lindseys. They already know our life.
So we're not recording video this week, but don't worry. Next week, we will be back recording video.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Depends
We
on how I
are.
feel.
We are. I'm actually really excited about next week. So.
But we tired. So we're doing this from our bed.
That's real life, though. And
it's real life.
Early in the morning right now,
what
y'all.
it is. It is what it is. They gotta accept the fact that this is real life. This is real life.
And we get it done every week. We
Hey.
we haven't had a break since we started like 2
I know
years
y'all
ago.
got some people who probably go in the studio, got all these nice sets. We got a studio. We got to go back to the studio.
You say that like every day.
Dude, I'm tired. I'm tired.
We have a lot
tired,
going on, but it's good
Jesus.
stuff. We're
I'm
thankful. God is good.
tired. I'm tired. But today we're talking about the emotional needs. It's what was this 10 emotional needs that every child is supposed to have met.
Yeah.
And so when we look at issues that we have, like, as adults, we're trying to address the fruit, but we're not dealing with the root issues.
It's real.
And, you're trying to address, the adultery, or you're trying to address, why this person didn't like this, or you're trying to address, why, maybe this person don't like to touch because of this reason. You're trying to address fruit issues, but you're not really dealing with the root issues. So today we're going to kind of share like some of the stuff that we've been talking about with each other, and things that we've been learning. And we just wanted to kind of share this with y'all. Maybe just spark a conversation, or even if you're dating, right, babe? If you're dating somebody, this may be a really good thing for you to talk about with your potential suitor. It's a whole lot better than just asking people about what is your expectation. I think this is great premarital stuff.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, even if you're already married, having those hard conversations, because when we get into relationships, we don't really deal with the model that we saw kind of growing up. Like, tell me about the childhood trauma you had the first 12 years of your life. Like, seriously, you don't think about asking that question on a date. But
yeah, because even if you did, I don't think you know what to do with it.
Right. Because you're like, well, maybe your parents were alcoholics, or maybe your dad left, or maybe your mom left, but you have to understand what you went through as a child is going to affect you as an adult.
Yeah.
If it's unresolved and you don't deal with it. If you push it under the rug, it's not going to heal.
Yeah.
Right?
That's facts.
Time doesn't heal. Understanding does. So
Right.
if we don't understand why we are the way we are, then we'll continue in this vicious, dysfunctional cycle, and we'll wonder why we're not getting results in our life.
Yeah. And ultimately you're going to continue to feel empty. And then you're just going to try to continue to fill those voids with people, with things, with addictions.
That's real.
You continue to feel those voids, and you're grown, and you're wondering like, well, why do I still feel this way? And you still feel this way because you have unaddressed trauma and issues that you didn't deal with as a child. Now you're an adult, and then, you come into the marriage, and you're basically trying to get your spouse to fulfill
And meet all your
void. Yeah, to meet all your needs, to try to fill a void that only your mom and your daddy can fill. Like, you can't fill those voids that I want from my mom and my dad, because you only have one.
When you were 12.
When I was from, and we're specifically talking about the ages from 1 to 12.
Yeah.
We're not going beyond that. So, but those things that mommy and daddy didn't do, we want to get those things filled.
So the first emotional need that I think we should talk about is acceptance.
Yeah. Because the first four are the most important. I don't want to say most important. Those are four are the most prominent. And it's acceptance, affection, attention, and affirmation. So
Yeah.
acceptance. I mean, the good thing is, God accepts us. We
Uh-huh.
know that, but we want to hear our parents, when we're younger, we want to hear our parents say, you know what? I accept you.
Yeah.
Not accept me for what I've done, but just accept me for who I am.
Let's give some examples of maybe somebody saying, maybe a child not feeling accepted. And maybe you guys do this with your children. I think a good example would be, I got all A's. Well, you're supposed to get all A's in this house.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you
Yeah.
have to get all A's in this house.
Yeah.
It's a requirement. Daddy was a doctor. I'm a doctor. You're going to be a doctor too. So you've got pressure on you from fourth grade on,
Yeah.
to be this person.
Yeah.
And you even wonder, like, if I wasn't a doctor, would my parents love me?
Yep.
If I don't want to go to college. I want to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but my parents won't love me anymore. I won't
Yeah.
feel accepted by them. So then you begin to change your whole life in what you do because you don't feel like you're accepted unless you conform to what your parents want you to do.
Yeah. I mean, especially like I grew up with a Black context, a Southern Black context. I don't know if the Black context is different in other regions, but I grew up in a Southern Black context where, it was one of those things, you heard either from my friends' parents or from other, my cousins' parents or something like that, my aunties and uncles, whatever it may be, they'll, in a Black context, they'll say things like, you're going to be just like your daddy. And it's like, okay, so if I don't conform to whatever image that you want me to conform to, then I'm no longer your child, or you don't accept me anymore.
Yeah.
And when you have, I love the example you gave too. Like, well, you're supposed to get all A's. Like if you don't get all A's, like what? Like you don't bring no B's home in my house.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you become a workaholic adult.
Mm-hmm.
You just start working. You're always trying to find something. Yeah.
Based.
You're always trying to find something to do. Well, I got to do something. I can never rest. I can never rest. You always got to find something. You just become just a crazy workaholic.
Yeah, because you feel like you have to perform in order to be loved. And then what we do is we take that into our relationship with God.
Yeah.
And we just
big time.
we're just like, all right, and the crazy thing is I'm big on like quiet time, space, and spending time with Jesus every day. And I think a lot of people, I was preaching this hard how many years ago? 5, 7, 8 years ago, I showed people my quiet time room, and people made it very legalistic, and they felt like, I don't have to have a quiet time room. I'm like, hey, you don't have to. It's for me. It's what I like to do. But earlier in my walk, I struggled with performance and God. I knew God loved me. I knew he had a plan for me, but I struggled with acceptance because of my father. Like he and I don't remember us having like a great relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember, and mind you, he passed away when I was a teenager. So, when you're a teenager, you hate life in general. And I know my dad was a great guy, but we just didn't connect when I was a child. And I remember him affirming me and encouraging me when I ran track.
Yeah.
And praising me for that. And so because I remember his encouragement and his praise then, I felt like that's the only time him and I really connected.
Yeah.
And I took that into my relationship with God years later. So I felt like, if I don't pray, if I don't do all this stuff, if I don't do this for God, if I don't serve, if I don't do all this, then God's not going to love me. And
that's it.
It's almost like I was trying to earn him.
Absolutely.
And when I was having the quiet time room and showing people quiet time, it was coming from a place of freedom. Like, I don't have to, God loves me whether I spend time with him or not. Spend time with God is for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I'm a hot mess and I need Jesus every second, every minute of the day. Like, I need him to fill me up. I need him to encourage me. I need him to, encourage me to keep going, give me wisdom, give me direction. So my mindset had to make that switch.
Yeah. Because people who don't feel accepted, you're going to feel rejected.
Uh-huh.
You're going to feel like, you're walking around as an adult and you're saying to yourself, I'm not good enough.
Uh-huh.
I'll never be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing I can ever do that's going to, that's going to make me good enough. You have this extremely, poor self-image of yourself. I got to do more. I got to be more. I got to look better. I got to have more followers. I got to have all these things. I got to have the check mark. I got to do all these things just so I can be accepted. It's interesting because I have a quick story about Logan. We were wrestling. And Logan gets rough, but
Oh
it's
my
a good
gosh,
thing.
he's
It's a
so
good thing he
rough.
does. I want him to be rough with me, and he gets rough. And so he kneed me in the chin. And so I was like, dude.
No, I heard
you-
y'all.
I was like, dude.
why are they yelling?
I was like, dude, you gotta chill. Like you need me. Like we playing wrestling, but if you want to get serious, I'll crack your back. You know what I'm saying?
oh my gosh.
But then
please no.
we're going again. So he comes at me again. He's running and bow, he just knees me in the chin again.
Oh my God.
And my jaw is hurt at this point. And I was like, Logan. And he looked at me and he said, I'm a bad kid, aren't I?
Oh, my sweet baby.
And I knew this is my opportunity. I'm going to shape a man in this moment.
Wow.
And I looked at him and I said, look me in my eyes. I said, you will never. I said, no, I said, I want you. I never want to hear you say that again.
Come on.
I said, you are not a bad kid.
Come on.
You are not a bad kid. I said, you are human, which means that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I said, but you are not a bad kid. And I don't care what you do. I will always love you and always accept you. You understand me? And so he had his head down and he just looked up at me. He just smiled. And then I said, give me a hug. And he gave me a hug and I said, come on, let's finish wrestling. And we just went at it again. But I knew it was in that moment. It was like, he wanted to know, will you accept me even when I don't do it perfectly?
I could cry.
But I just knew in that moment, like I'm legit raising I'm raising a man, and I want to make sure that he's going to be prepared for life and know that he doesn't have to seek acceptance in this world. And
I want to share a story about Taylor, but in the same right. But let's take a break first.
Yeah, and really cool is that I've been going to the gym a lot, and Ritual has been absolutely amazing. Now, y'all probably heard us talking about Ritual a lot, but we started off with Ritual with their multivitamins. I take the multivitamins for men. My wife does it for women. They also have multivitamins for kids. But guess what, y'all? They have it for they now have protein.
Yes.
And it's made with pea protein. It's something that we take to the gym.
Come on, somebody, because you have to look on the back because they will trick you.
Okay, it's plant-based, but it's delicious plant-based protein offered in 3 premium formulations for distinct life changes and unique nutrient needs, all made with the same high standards approach and commitment to traceability that Ritual is known for.
Y'all, we love it. So I think it's important, like whatever I'm putting in my body, it has to be clean. And that's one of my favorite things about it. I feel like they really thought it through. They thought through the formulation. It's clean, it's plant-based formulas, and they're created to support nutritional needs of different life stages, 18 plus, pregnancy and postpartum, 50 plus, etc. So it's really great, y'all. So why not shake up your Ritual? Now, to make trying something new less scary, Ritual is offering a money-back guarantee if you are not 100% in love. Isn't that amazing, y'all?
Yep.
So my listeners get 10% off during your first 3 months. Just visit ritual.com/LWL to add essential protein today. That's ritual.com/LWL.
Yeah. So I mean, y'all, we're coming back. I know you had a story. Were you going to tell the story based on acceptance, or did you want to move to the second one?
Well, let's do acceptance.
Okay.
And then we can go to the second one.
Okay.
So that reminds me of a story that I told you about. I want to say I probably talk about it often on this podcast, but it's when Taylor was doing something and I challenged her, like, Taylor, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And for a period of time, she was just like acting out. I want to say she was like 2.5, 3, just having tantrums, throwing herself out. I was like, what is wrong with you? And I remember the Lord telling me to grab her and tell her, there's nothing that you can do that would make me stop loving you. And in that moment, it's like, I grabbed her and I looked at her, and then she stopped screaming and she started smiling. And it's like in that moment, she realized she was accepted and loved, and there's nothing that she could do. So the next time she messed up, and mind you, y'all, Tay used to turn up. She's so sweet and calm now. But when she was 2 and 3, she would have the fallout ministry. Baby girl would be on the floor. And so
My baby.
when she would mess up, she would look at me and say, there's nothing that I could do that would make you not love me.
Yeah.
And it's like she started telling me, and I said, you're absolutely right. Now, what you did was not the right thing. Let's work on the behavior. Let's get to the root of that, Tay. But I just felt like we all have that defining moment with our children or even in our own life growing up. And you have to ask yourself, am I going to use this moment to shape my child to be, more like Jesus or not?
And I think it's interesting because it's something that was synonymous between both of our examples that I think that people should really hear. And here's the thing. Heather and I, we're not saying we're perfect parents. As you can tell, we make a lot of mistakes. And I apologize to my kids about a mistake I made last week and week before that. I'm big on apologizing to my kids. Like, hey, Daddy did not do that right. I apologize. I should not have done that. That's not the right thing. So we're not the best at it. We just want to kind of share some examples of things we've seen. But I think two things that are synonymous, or one thing that's synonymous is that, when that happened with me with Logan, I hugged him. And I think it was not just my words to him, but it was the affection that he received that was like, it softened him in the same way, like you say, you pick Taylor up. And I think it's that pickup that kind of softens the blow. Because again, I grew up in a Southern Black context, and typically in that context, we don't go for the hug first. You go for the switch first, or the belt first, or the hanger first. Wow. So it goes from, why you acting out like that? You need to quit, and then child, and then you get that's what it was. It's like you went for that first, but affection is the second one, and it's so important.
And it's my favorite.
It is her favorite.
It's
crazy. When we were studying this, it was talking about that the average child should get 8 to 10 hugs a day.
Isn't that amazing?
8 to 10 hugs a day. You know how much that makes my skin crawl.
Really?
Right? Yes.
Oh, baby,
like you go hug me 8 to 10 times a day. Oh no! Ooh. But there goes my childhood trauma.
That goes exactly because I wasn't touched growing up, so I don't want to be touched as an adult. But you have grown, leaps and bounds in that area. I'm so thankful. But touch is my thing. That's bae. And it's funny because I tell the kids, I tell them I'm supposed to hug you 8 to 10 times a day. So literally I'll go up to them. I'll be like, this is number 4.
Yeah.
And Logan be like, all right, Mom, can we just cap it at 3 today? He's like, I don't need 10 hugs every day. But he's out, and I grab him by the face and I look at him and I'm saying, one day you're going to appreciate this because you're going to know you're accepted and you're loved, and you're not going to go date some girl that, and lower your standards because you didn't experience that love at home.
Yeah. Because affection, it makes us feel safe.
It does.
It makes us feel secure. It makes us feel loved. I mean, like before we came in to record this podcast, Roman had fell out on the floor because he wanted to watch something on YouTube Kids, and Mimi wouldn't let him.
Because they had a cuss word in it on YouTube Kids.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear the cuss word.
It had the S word in it. Oh my gosh. I was like, I freaked out.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't hear it. So if it was up to me, he would have still been watching it.
Baby.
But nonetheless, no, I'm saying
he's 3.
No, I'm saying I didn't hear it. That's what I was saying. I didn't hear it. But he was on the floor and he was like, I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
Fallout Ministry.
So I walked up to him and I said, get up. And he stood up and he just kind of looked up at me. So I just picked him up, and then he got on me. He just grabbed my neck, and I just hugged him even tighter. I gave him a kiss. And then, we turned on the little Fortnite dances. So I was out there dancing and he started dancing. He started laughing. But I think even in that moment, as a parent, we feel like they need words. We need to tell them, don't do that. Tell them why this isn't right for him to fall on the floor. But we can't forget, he's a kid. He's 3. Is he 3, 2? How old is it?
He's 3.
He's 3. Like, he's a kid. That's what kids do. And we want kids so bad to be adults.
Yeah.
We want them to be like, that's not the right thing to do. But he's a kid. And all he needed in that moment was just a hug. And then after I hugged him, I sat down on the couch with him and I cuddled with him for maybe a couple minutes. I said, Daddy, let's go do some work. And he said, okay. And that was it. And it was all over. He's fine.
He just needed that affection.
Yeah, because affection gives us security. It makes us feel safe.
It does the same thing in marriage.
And it does. But here's the thing. When you're a kid, like for me, I've talked about this before on the podcast. When you're a kid and you don't get those hugs, then you don't feel safe.
Yeah.
You don't feel secure. And then you grow up to become an anxious adult. And you're restless, you're distant.
That's real.
You can become cold and unfeeling. I remember the beginning stage of my marriage, you'd be like, you don't have a heart.
Yeah, I used to be like, what is wrong with you? And
I'm like, I don't have a heart. I do have a heart. It's pumping blood right now. I just don't feel how you feel. I'd be like, you're emotional. But that was my mechanism. That was my coping mechanism because I didn't feel safe.
And hold on. And you didn't feel safe, not because of me, but because of unresolved childhood trauma that you had.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't, because as an adult, we're trying to deal. We're going to therapy because we're like, well, I don't feel safe right now in my marriage. Well, the truth is that you don't feel safe right now because of your childhood trauma.
Yeah.
You weren't touched as a kid, or maybe you were you had over touch, or maybe you had the wrong touch.
Yeah.
And those things come into play. So it's like, with couples who say, well, we've been trying to have sex, but my spouse ain't trying to have sex with me. Well, but probably because she had the wrong touch or he had the wrong touch. So now he associates sex with the wrong touch.
And sex is an affection.
And sex is not affection.
Sex is not affection, y'all.
Sex is not affection. So affection is a really, really big one. Speaking of affection, and remember the song Fitch?
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that you got the song.
Y'all.
You want to tell people about it?
So Corny surprised me with this heartfelt song, and it was so amazing. And he used Songfinch, and he surprised me by playing it. I'm not sure if y'all got a chance to see it, but we're going to play it again right now.
My forever girlfriend, I'm so proud to be your man. Always wanna give you all the love your heart can stand. I just wanna travel the world with you. Married for 11, but I never get old. Got a perfect life with you. That's just how this story goes.
You guys, couldn't you cry? I would literally, it was so beautiful. It was such a great surprise. I feel like it was a perfect gift for me and for anybody out there. We have Christmas coming up. If you want to get a gift for your spouse, your mom, grandmother, children, anybody who's special to you, you guys create a custom song. Simply share a few details about your life, your relationship, special memories. You just have to fill out this quick survey, and a professional artist will turn it into a song that can be treasured forever. You can even choose your favorite musical genre as well. And you can browse over 1,000 professional musicians and select your favorite, and they can match you with an artist.
Yeah, so it is the perfect gift for Christmas to tell someone how much they mean to you, to celebrate an anniversary, birthday, retirement, or just to say, I love you. Songs are typically $199, but with code Lindsey, Lindsey, you save another $20 this week only. That's $20 off the perfect gift, y'all. So just for $179 for a gift they will treasure forever. That's $179, but think about it. They're gonna listen to this song.
Oh, I am
forever. But hurry, because you have to use code Lindsey, Lindsey, for $20 off this week only. Visit songfinch.com. That's songfinch.com, and use code Lindsey, Lindsey, for an additional $20 off. And fellas, you already know, the ladies are already like, what you give me for Christmas, make sure it's from the heart. Just give me something sentimental. Aww. I'm telling you exactly what to get. Go to songfinch.com and make sure you use code Lindsey for additional $20 off. But that good affection though.
Sex is not intimacy.
Sex is not intimacy.
And what people do is maybe they feel like they're not getting affection from their spouse. So they might want to have sex a lot.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, well, that's the best I can get because you're not affectionate with me. You know what I mean? And so maybe ladies or gentlemen, whoever, because it goes both sides in marriage, maybe you go and rub your spouse's back, or, maybe you can do non-sexual touch, and you guys can start practicing that and growing in that area so your spouse won't feel like, oh, we have to do it every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then for the person who is also like overly touched, you have to be really empathetic towards your spouse. Cause I got in our marriage, I have to tell my wife, like, well, that's not how I grew up. I didn't grow up with all these hugs. I didn't grow up with I didn't grow up with all of that stuff. So I can't, you have to understand my life as well. Yeah, and then the goal is that the two of you grow together. But, and that's another thing. I mean, just kind of ease up on a lot of the expectations we put on each other in marriage. Learning about these things, babe, has made me really think about the 5 love languages from Gary Chapman a whole lot different. Because when you think about, okay, what's my love language? I think your love language is something that screams out something that maybe you wanted as a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now that's how I feel loved. And then we take that into our marriage and we're like, see, you don't love me because you don't do this. But it's like, well, no, because you want me to feel something that your parents can only feel. I can't feel that for you.
Yeah.
And so, like with me, with acts of service, I feel like my love language, so to speak, is the way that I communicate love, because I want to be accepted. Yeah. Or I want to be affirmed. I want all those things. So just something to think about. But the third one is attention. Attention. Yeah. And that is big for a kid.
Oh my God.
That's huge for kids. Kids want attention.
They want attention, especially if you have your older child might not get as much attention as your youngest. Yeah. Because your youngest is a baby. Yeah. And maybe you have a new baby coming in the house and now you're giving all your attention to the youngest and then the oldest still feels a little left out. I've learned that Logan might play it cool, but Logan still wants attention.
Oh, Logan wants attention.
He wants.
He even said on the slide, he'd be like, oh my God, Roman wants all the attention. And I'd be like, no, bro, I'm watching. Come on, bro. Like we're playing the game. And sometimes I'd be like, no, Roman, me and Logan are playing the game.
I love that.
Like go back in the room. Me and Logan or you can watch us.
He comes in here and cries.
Well, he can cry, but I'm playing with the firstborn right now. So, And even in those times, like I remember I did that once. I was like, no, me and Logan are playing the game. And Roman ran off and Logan looked at me. Logan said, thanks, Dad.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, but it's like, he wants attention. Because he's like, hold up, I've had to in the beginning, he didn't have to share us.
He didn't have to share us with anybody.
When it was just us and him, we traveled the whole world.
I mean,
remember that?
We traveled the world.
We traveled the world with him.
All the time.
He went everywhere.
He was like, what happened after Roman, Mom? He's like, y'all used to take me everywhere, and then Taylor everywhere. Yeah. And then Roman came. I said, have you seen Roman? He is a warrior child. Like literally.
And bro, right now, that's 5 first class seats. That's a lot.
I know, we travel bougie.
That's a lot. That's 5 first class seats. And right now, like, bro, right now it's just easier to just kind of leave y'all behind and y'all be all right. But just taking him everywhere. We gave him all the attention.
We gave him all the attention.
All the attention.
But so now what we do is we plan trips with all of them.
Yeah.
Where everybody can go and we can all have a good time. But then also COVID happened right after Roman as well.
Yeah.
And we don't want to travel as much.
Yeah, but and for parents, it's very important. Like we're learning that you have to go into your child's world. Yeah, you can't expect for your child to understand yours because again, growing up in the Black context, it is always as parents we're trying to explain to the kids. Well, I can't be there because you got to understand I can't be there because it is, or I can't do this because of something I've done, or I can't, you're trying to get them to understand your context. Yeah. But they're kids. They don't understand your context. The only thing they understand is I had an award show and you weren't there. Yeah. The only thing they can comprehend is, well, I had a sports game, but you weren't there. They don't understand, well, I had to make some more money. They don't get that. They don't understand. They don't get that stuff. They don't get it. They're kids and they're not supposed to, but you have to get down in their world, meaning that,
it's real.
Like I sometimes I would despise getting on the ground with Logan and playing with those Legos. Remember this Lego stage?
Yes.
My gosh, I hated the Lego stage.
He wanted to buy these like 500-piece Legos.
Oh my! It was the smallest one,
and he only wanted to do it with you. He didn't want to do it with me.
Remember, I sat there when we started. He was with me for 15 minutes. 4.5 hours later, he was gone. Yeah, of course. Yep. And I had built the whole stupid thing. Yep. Remember, he sat there and he was like, "I want Batman." He just took Batman apart, and I could. But that was,
that was going into his world.
That was going into his world.
I remember one day I just went into the playroom with Logan. I think you were in here with Taylor and Roman, and I just sat and watched him play Minecraft. He's like, "You're just going to sit and watch me?" I was like, yeah, I just want to come hang out with you. And he was like, "I really appreciate that, Mommy. Like, You just come to sit. And I didn't say anything. I just sat and watched him play.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you're really good. Same with Taylor. Taylor's love language is shopping.
Taylor,
No, for real.
for candy.
For candy. And you know that girl spent like $150 in Claire's? Who spends $150 in Claire's? So Taylor, okay, let me preface. My sweet Taylor is the sweetest girl. She's so helpful. Like this morning, she went and got Roman's toothbrush and toothpaste, put it on there, and came and brushed his teeth. Like she's so helpful. And we encourage her to be a kid, but she feels very responsible for Roman, even though we tell her she doesn't have to be. But, you know, she likes to go shopping. So we went to Claire's. She's like, I want to go to Claire's and get some earrings. This girl bought up Claire's, you know, but that's what she loves to do. So it's finding what your children love to do, meeting them in that place and giving them that attention, even if you're tired, even if you're busy, even if you don't feel like it.
Yeah, it's those days of like when I'm laying in the bed and Logan's like, Dad, would you come in? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay,
so good.
Here
babe.
we go.
You know what?
And I try to do it with a good attitude because the worst thing ever as a kid is you're like, they don't really want to. And Logan has said that before. Logan's like, you don't really want to do it, do you? And I'm like, Logan, I said, here's the thing. I'm human. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired, but I'm here to do it with you. And I do want to do it. It's just that Daddy's tired. And then that kind of softens the blow a little bit, but you want to make sure you're doing it with the right intentions, you know.
Yeah, because Logan will call you out real quick.
That boy will call you out in a heartbeat.
Very convicted. All right, y'all.
But speaking of calling things out, ShipStation.
That transition.
Well, you got to make ship happen.
Yeah, we do. Now, I don't really, babe. Anyway, so you guys, the holidays are the most wonderful time of the year. And if you are running an online store like I am, it can be the craziest time of the year. I literally need to upload so many more products and it's overwhelming, but ShipStation makes it so much easier, y'all. So if you've got inventory to manage, orders to fill, and stressed out customers checking in twice a day to wonder where your last minute gifts are, ShipStation makes it so much easier. We've been using it for years now. It's super easy to use. Everything is there and you get discounted prices on USPS, UPS, FedEx. You can just kind of choose which one you like to use best. But I've been using it for a really long time. It's great. It tracks all my orders. You can also import sales from every channel, from like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, your own website, and it's all automated. So that's really nice.
Yeah. So make this holiday season a little bit brighter with ShipStation. Use our offer code LWTL to get 60-day free trial. That's y'all. That's a 60-day free trial.
Let's go.
Yo, that's enough for your business to quadruple, you know, just enough time to handle a holiday rush. So just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top and enter code LWTL. ShipStation, make ship happen. Again, that's ShipStation.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code LWTL for a 60-day free trial. Listen, let me get the attention of all the business owners out there and with Express VPN. So have you ever browsed in incognito mode? It's probably not as incognito as you think. And why would it be? Incognito mode, like the Chrome browser itself, is a Google product. And Google has made its fortune by tracking your movements online. There's even a $5 billion class action lawsuit against the company in California where it's accused of secretly collecting user data. Google's defense: incognito does not mean invisible. So how do you actually make yourself as invisible as possible online? You need to use ExpressVPN like we do. ExpressVPN is great because it allows for you, especially, you know, as a business owners, because you want to make sure that you keep your business information private. Yeah. So it turns out that even in incognito mode, your online activity still gets tracked, and data brokers can get to and buy and sell your data. Every time you connect to ExpressVPN, you get a random IP address shared by many other ExpressVPN customers that makes it harder for third parties to identify you or harvest your data. Best of all, ExpressVPN is super easy to use no matter what device you're on, phone, laptop, or smart TV. All you have to do is tap one button for instant protection.
Awesome. So if you really want to go incognito and protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/LWTL and get 3 extra months for free, y'all. Totally free. That's Express, expressvpn.com/LWTL. Go to expressvpn.com/LWTL to learn more.
Here you go. But that good old attention,
Yeah.
and when children don't get the attention, they grow up to be adults who feel worthless because they feel like nobody sees me. I mean, if you look on social media is all about attention. It's like, well, let me get some attention.
Look
Nobody,
at me.
yeah. It's just like it's like look at me. You feel worthless. You have a poor self-image. You're overly consumed with your appearance. You're promiscuous, performance oriented. You're just trying to do things to get more people to see you. It's like, hey, can you see me? Can you see me? And then you get on these TikToks and stuff. You start doing crazy stuff just to get people to pay attention to you. And so
Twerking and tweaking.
I mean, hey,
Because you just like, I just want somebody to give me some attention.
It's just somebody give me some attention. Can somebody see me? And then you begin to base your worth on the amount of likes that you get, or did people retweet it, or the comments.
How come I can't go viral?
Yeah.
And why can't I get the attention? You have to ask yourself, and this is a good heart check before you even post. Like, what's my motive for posting this online?
Yeah.
I like to ask myself these questions, like internally. What's my motive? Does this push people closer to Jesus, or does this push people away from him? Is this encouraging? And I like to keep my social media really encouraging. I like to keep it, where I'm just pushing people towards Jesus, encouraging them to do the right thing. I'm not trying to go on there and start wars. That's not my thing. I don't like that.
I don't mind that.
Well, that's you, baby.
I know we're a little bit different.
We're a little different. See, I
be trying to piss off the religious.
Well, all right.
In the name.
I just want the religious to get saved.
In whose name? Jesus' name. His son did the Kadaba.
And when I say I want the religious to get saved, I just want them to develop some fruit of the Spirit, which is love and patience and joy with people who might not believe like they do or agree with you, right? So you have to ask yourself, what's my motive? And if your motive is for likes and attention and approval, I literally just posted a video on my Instagram. You guys can follow me at Heather L. Love. And I just posted a clip of a sermon that I just preached. And the sermon was called, I Don't Need You to Clap for Me. And essentially, it's also on my YouTube channel, but essentially it's just saying, like, I'm going to do what God wants me to do, whether I have your applause or not.
Come on.
And if I don't have the applause of people, will it stop me from doing what God wants me to do? I feel like everything that God has called us to do, we went through a very quiet, silent season prior to that open door.
Right.
Meaning, like, we were overlooked. We were thrown to the side. We felt abandoned. We felt like, God, what is happening? And I feel like we have to go through those seasons of being overlooked or unseen, and it's temporary.
Yeah.
But when you go through those seasons, you begin to realize what your true identity is. You begin to say, you know what, God, I'm yours. My identity is in you. I have the attention of heaven.
Yeah.
That is more than enough for me. I don't need people to book me to speak certain places to feel value. Right. I don't need people. I don't need to go viral. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about helping people. And if it goes viral, then great. Let Jesus be the focus of it.
Yeah. Same. I have friends that people didn't know I'm friends with because I'm like, I don't need your attention on social media for our friendship to be validated.
Yeah.
You may find out we're friends a long time from now.
Yeah.
You see us in a picture. People that hit me up all the time, like, I didn't know you knew that person.
I'm like, I don't post all my friends.
Well, none of your business who I knew. Yeah, I knew. I know this person. But I think in that sense of attention, you just get overly consumed with self. And so we need it. But the fourth one is extremely important too. And you just kind of hit on it, and that's affirmation.
Affirm me.
You want somebody to affirm you.
Yeah, you do.
It's that emotional need that helps to prepare us for adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important. It's the need that says you acknowledge my significance, that you acknowledge my significance, and that I am significant. Yeah. That I am somebody.
That I'm enough.
That I am enough.
And I'm valued.
Yep. Somebody can commend your confidence. And one thing we like to tell our kids is, and again, we're not perfect parents. I want you to hear this and be like, oh my goodness, y'all just got it all together. We don't.
We're not.
That's the reason why we learning this stuff now, so that we can get better. And we hope that, people can do that too. Other people can do that too. But we want to make sure that our kids know that they're a significant part of our family. Like one thing I love that you tell the kids that I've had to start incorporating is you'll look at the kids and you'll say, you know what, we're so glad we had you. You're really, you're one of the best parts of our family.
Your God's sweet answered prayers.
Your God's sweet answered prayers. And, when you tell them each individually that, it's like neither one of them will feel, unaffirmed because they're all like, well, yeah, I'm a member of this family. Yeah, I deserve to be in this family. You feel like you're a part of it. And then I think a big part of affirmation is something I learned from you too. Because again, growing up in the context I grew up in the Black South, different. You a part of the family. Yeah. But you ain't really part of the family because you don't get to make no family decisions. You a child. Wow. You stay in a child's place. The child.
Logan makes a lot of family decisions.
He makes the family decisions.
He makes the family decisions.
Logan is the reason why we taking our family trip where we going next year. Logan. Yeah. But I think that's different. I think that's healthy. Yeah. Because we come together as a family and we say, where do y'all want to go? And then we make that decision as a family. So we all feel like we have an equal voice. Because where I grew up, it was you a kid, go outside, play with the kids. Wow. You don't come in here with the adults. This is a grown folks conversation. Yeah. But I think when kids have an opportunity to have their voice heard in the house, then I think it's healthy for them because they feel like, I'm a part of this family. Yeah. I'm a big part of this family.
I definitely felt heard, from my mother. Mind you, my father worked and my mother stayed at home. She's a homemaker. And I felt like I very much had a voice. And I felt like I had that freedom growing up. And I'm thankful for that. Something else I do with the kids is I don't know which one this would be, but I always ask them, what's going on in your heart? Is your heart sad? Oh, yeah. And I feel like that's good because they feel like they can express what's going on. Like if they're mad, they say they're mad. Yeah. Oh, wow, you're mad. Your heart's mad. Why is your heart mad? Or if it's happy. And now it's so funny. Roman comes in. He's like, Mommy, is your heart mad or is your heart happy?
Yeah, he does. He told you that to me yesterday. Then he looked at me. He said, I'm mad. And I said, cool. It's okay to be mad. I said, now what you mad about? He was like, Taylor. So like y'all two don't get away from me.
Y'all,
those two.
Taylor and Logan go at it.
Taylor and Logan go at it.
Logan told Taylor she was adopted. And I'm like, first of all, I was like, there's nothing wrong with being adopted because I'm adopted. However, Taylor.
I was like, when Taylor came and said that, I was like, oh, trigger. Mommy's adopted. Don't ever do that.
Right.
Oh,
I'm like, guys, I'm adopted. And I had a really good experience. And there's nothing wrong with being adopted. Okay. But I reminded Taylor and showed her pictures of when she was in my belly. I said, nope, we didn't pick you up from anywhere, friend. We didn't adopt you.
No, we brought you home from the hospital. You home. I remember every night you cried.
And you screamed for the first 2 years of your life. And this morning she started screaming. What was she crying about this morning?
Because her backpack fell. Like legit, I watched it. She had it sitting on the chair. Yeah. And I saw it teetering. I just saw it going back and forth. And all of a sudden she said, oop, boom. And it just fell. And she was like, and I'm thinking to myself, did something waste? Did something break? Nothing. The backpack was fully zipped. Everything. I said, Taylor, what happened? She said, my backpack fell.
She wants attention.
I said, well, pick it up. She was like, okay. And she picked it. I was like, right. What is that?
What is happening? They just need a little bit of affirmation and attention. And that's okay. They're babies.
So we have these main four. I mean, that are just so important, and we even see how the Father affirmed Jesus, and when he said to him, he said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased." Yeah. But the crazy thing about that is, Jesus ain't done nothing yet.
He didn't do nothing.
He ain't turned no water into wine.
He didn't do nothing.
He ain't healed no blindness. He ain't healed no leprosy. He didn't do anything. But the Father affirmed him before his accomplishments. I think he's showing us as parents, like, you know what? You got to affirm your kids and accept them and give them affection and all that kind of stuff long before they ever do anything. Because they're going to remember it.
That's right.
And now we have a lot of adults who are just traumatic and they're looking for soulmates, but they're really finding cellmates.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
real. Or roommates.
Or roommates. People out there like, well, I'm trying to find a soulmate, but you still haven't healed from childhood trauma. Now, it's not to say we're going to all be perfect,
Yeah.
but we're trying to find somebody to help fill the voids. I would even dare to say, and you tell me what you think about this. I would even dare to say that a lot of our list that we say we're looking for a spouse in,
Yeah.
a lot of our list are things or voids that we're trying to fill that weren't filled as a child.
Very much so. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. And I also want to say this. I feel like, is there a fine line though, babe? Like, for example, I love touch, right? I got a lot of touch from my mother, didn't get as much touch from my dad. But I feel like I'm in a good, like, healthy place where I'm not looking to you to like fill my voids. You know what I mean? But I still like it, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever feel like a spouse could use it against another spouse and say, well, you're not going to use me to fill your voids, you know? And try to throw it back on them and say, you need to go deal with, you trying to always touch me, and throw it back and say, I can't fill your mama's voids, or I can't fill your dad's voids.
Well, I think in that, that's what I was talking about earlier. I think that's the part where empathy comes into play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did mention that.
That's the part where empathy comes into play, because you have to understand, even with us, I didn't grow up how you grew up.
Yeah, you didn't.
You didn't grow up how I grew up.
Yeah.
So you may not understand me, and I don't understand you.
Yeah.
So I think a part of marriage is being able to listen to each other.
Yeah.
And then to be able to grace each other through the process.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest issues and biggest mistakes we make in marriage and in any relationship and friendships are expectations.
Mm.
We go into it with expectations.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of when I used to teach premarital class. That was one of the first or second classes I taught.
Yeah.
It was on expectations.
Yeah.
It was on, this is what I expect for you to do. This is what I expect for you to be. So now, again, you're playing into that performance.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't perform, then you won't love me. If I don't remember when we first got married and you were like, you felt like if you didn't cook, if you didn't do all these things, then I didn't love you. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I would cook all your meals and all your snacks, and I would stress out.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, girl, I love you. I told you I love you on our wedding day. What the heck?
It used to be on our wedding day. You need to tell me 100 times a day. What the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean that's not how I grew. I didn't grow up in a world. I didn't grow up in a world.
Now you're so different, babe.
Everybody, but that I think that's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like most marriages, most friendships are giving themselves enough time,
like breathing room to grow up. I agree.
And because of that, it's all being weighed down. And that I think that's just a big problem that we have to look at. But nevertheless, we've had a great time talking to y'all.
I know
today.
this was a really great podcast in our bedroom. We might need to come here and do some more podcasts in our bedroom.
Yeah, man. That would be great. So we really appreciate y'all. God bless y'all so much. We love y'all so much. Bye.
Bye.